Setting Candy up. She's gonna take her vertical, booms!
I'm a hip-hop, hippity-hop, hippest hop around. Hip-hop, 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 hip-hop.
Hi, my name is Mimi Lesios, otherwise known as Magnificent Mimi on Prime Ticket, with the LPWA, Ladies Professional Wrestling Association. You know, one thing that has always bothered me is the notion that there's something feminine in being helpless or to be a victim. Nothing could be further from the truth. It's a long life ambition for me to prove otherwise. My object is to improve the all-around attitude of women in this society. Positive efforts by women to become involved as active participants in defending themselves will encourage overall improvement and development. That's why I got together with some actors and reenacted some scenes that could actually happen to you. But just remember the common sense of self-defense. Make every effort to avoid being a victim. For example, if you have the choice of walking 5 blocks in a well-lit area or half a block in a dimly lit alleyway, by all means, walk the 5 blocks. If you're confronted, do what comes naturally. Scream and get out. If you can't run away, then try some other non-violent device. Discourage him, create distraction, bluff, talk your way out of it. Anything to avoid your body to get out of the danger zone. Even friendly persuasion works sometimes. But remember that the last thing the attacker wants is to lose face. Don't engage him in suggesting that he's not capable of completing what he originally planned. Playing the role of a toughie or a heroine is strictly for the movies. In real life, don't play around with a man's pride, or anybody's pride for that matter. If all else fails, be prepared to use physical techniques. Prevent the assault, enable you to escape. The first thing you want to do is prevent yourself from being in that situation and get out. Thank you. Let's have the first roll in.
Yeah, why don't you wake me up early, wife? You know I'm going to be late. Huh? Hey. Here's my breakfast. Come on, hurry up, I've been good all day. Come on. Ah, Jesus, these eggs are cold. I said these eggs are cold.
Just cook them,
What do you mean just cook them? These eggs are cold. Taste them for yourself. Come here. I said come here. I said come here and taste them for yourself. What are you, deaf? I said come here. Taste them. They're cold. So take them away and bring me my coffee. What are you trying to do to me, huh? I got enough trouble on my hands all day. I don't need this crap in the morning. Just bring me my coffee. Come on. What are you looking at? What are you looking at? Huh? What are you looking at? Jesus Christ, this is great. This is really great. Look what you did. Look what you just did to my pants. Look what you just did to my pants! Clean it up! Clean it up! Then stop it! Clean it up! Do your wifely duties, just clean it up. You clean it up! Alright, excuse me. What did you just say? What did you just say? I didn't hear you quite right. What did you say? What did you just say? Huh? What did you just say? Don't ever give me that lip again, you hear me? Huh? Don't ever give me that lip again. You hear me?
scene that you just saw was a wife brutality scene that obviously happens quite a bit. I reenacted these scenes with actors and actresses that I've brought along with me. Thank you, Mary Michaels, for being with me and for reenacting these scenes. Tino Orsini.
Pleasure.
Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to demonstrate, they're going to demonstrate, and I'll talk it over with them, is how exactly it's done in slow motion. So you'll see how it's done. And these are just a few tips from the Magnificent Mimi to you. There's a lot of other ways, but this is one way. So what the attacker puts his hand on the victim. The victim grabs with both of her hands, his arm, pulls it towards her. Her right knee comes up to his stomach or to his groin. He tumbles over. With both of her hands, she goes down and hits his back. And get out as soon as possible. If you can't get out, then kick him. Get him out of the way and run out as soon as possible. Let's have that next roll in.
So good, I can't even tell you what it is on the phone. You'll have to come over and read it. God, no. I thought I heard something, but I guess I didn't. Anyway, you've got to come over and read it. Every single passage. Wait, I did hear something. I'll call you back. John? John, is that you? I'm at 2238 Glendale. Somebody's breaking into my house. Hurry, hurry!
Okay, the scene you just saw was a house break-in. That happens, obviously, all the time. So what a person should do if they're alone, if you don't want a gun in your house, which is one of the main things you should do, is carry a weapon. Have a gun, have something. But if you don't want a gun in your house, have a baseball bat. A real baseball bat at that. It's easy to stick under the bed. Just have it under your bed and be ready just in case anything does happen, like a house break-in. The first thing you should do if you hear somebody breaking into your house, definitely call 911 because they will come in and help. The first thing you should do is hide behind a wall. Don't let your attacker see you. Take him by surprise. If you can't take him by surprise, well then confront him. Have your baseball bat in the hand. He comes walking up, hit him in the kneecaps real hard. To disable him, you don't want him to get back up. You hit him again. If he takes your weapon away from you and grabs your leg, tries to pull you towards him because he's obviously upset that you've disabled his kneecaps, the first thing you should do is grab his throat. Get that windpipe, pull it towards you, get your index finger, your middle finger, and put it in his eye sockets, way in back of the eyeball. Push both the throat and the eye sockets, pull them both out at the simultaneous time. That way you'll completely disable him, get up, and get out as quickly as possible. By that time, the police should be there because you did call 911. Let's go for that next roll-in. just saw was a purse snatch scene that happens actually all the time, and it did actually happen to me one time. And this is what the Magnificent Mimi did to my attacker. What actually happens is the attacker goes for your purse, he pulls it towards him. You pull your purse right back because it's yours. Your right elbow comes up to his chest, your right palm goes up to his chin. Your right knee comes to his groin, he tumbles over. You spin around, your right leg comes over his right leg, and you flip him over. Grabbing his hair at the same time and get out as soon as possible. Don't stick around and say, see, I told you so. Let's go for the next rolling.
Hey, girls, how you doing? Come on, I said, come on, let's go. Stop it! I'm just trying to have some fun, come on. Come on, let's have some fun. You ladies all right? Call the cops on you, man. I'll be back.
I'll testify for you. I saw it.
All right, this is the last scene, and it's a jogging scene. If you perhaps get attacked or are bothered by an attacker while jogging in the park, while jogging on the beach, or wherever you may possibly be, the attacker reaches out for you with his left hand. You want to grab onto his left hand, go underneath his arm, and pull his arm, which in the wrestling world, it's called a hammerlock. You want to give him a hammerlock and really hold on tight and tell him what you think about this guy. Tell him you're not interested. Tell him to get away from you. Always keep your eye on your attacker. Always. Because you know he's going to come back to you. And when he does come back to you, you want to get both of your hands, push his arm completely up, your right elbow comes into his stomach, both of your hands clamped together, hitting into his groin. He tumbles over, hit his back. If you can, kick him. If you can't, get out. And I'm sure other people will witness it. So they'll help you, or yell for help. Do what comes naturally. Scream and get out. So, anyways, this is just a few tips from the Magnificent Mimi. I can show you a few other tips if you are a bit more agile, or if you've had a little bit of experience and training in martial arts. We'll show you some kicks in just a moment. Okay, this is just a few demonstrations that I'm actually going to demonstrate on Tino Orsini, one of our actors. It's a few punches and a few kicks. If you're not able to do this, then use the simple demonstration techniques that I just showed you on the reenactment of the scenes. If an attacker comes over to you and grabs for you, you can disable him by pushing his hand up, grabbing your fist, if you have rings, most ladies wear rings, and hitting his bicep. That'll really hurt. Also, you can also kick you could stomp on his foot. You could give him a frontward kick, which goes right into the stomach, right into the groin, or even to his face. But the first thing you have to remember is to bring your toes up. You don't want to break your toes. If he comes with you with his left hand, you can bring his left hand up, punch his bicep, and give him a side kick. With that side kick, you're going to either throw him down or he's going to tumble over. And of course, when he tumbles over, you're definitely going to get out as soon as possible. So let's try that one again. You're going to push up his hand, hit his bicep, and with that you can also hit his bicep and with your knuckles hit onto the face. So with the bicep, the knuckles, you could kick his shin, stomp on his foot, give him a side kick. Now with the front kicks, what we want to do is you want to stand in your position. You want to stand with your left foot forward and have complete balance. Your left foot forward, your right foot back. Be in your fighting position because you are ready to fight. If somebody's going to attack you, by all means, you attack right back if you can't get away. So you want to be in the fighting position. You want to frontward kick with your toes up into the face, to the stomach, to the face, to the groin, to the shin, and stomp on his foot. If he's still coming towards you, you want to hit him in the stomach with your knuckles, hit him in the nose, and you can grab him and toss him over. If you're Magnificent Mimi, of course, you could give him a roundhouse kick, a front kick, a side kick, and onto the shin, and then toss him over. But not everybody's Magnificent Mimi. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Thanks, Tino Orsini and Mary Michaels, for joining me today and actually participating in this female self-defense video. I'm sure a lot of the viewers out there would definitely, want to thank you personally. But let me ask you a couple of questions. First, I'll start with you, Tino. How did this character affect you as an actor, but also as a male?
Well, I mean, as an actor, it was certainly a stretch for me because it was very different from my own personality.
Yeah.
And but as a male, more strongly, it made me aware how a male dominance could change a woman's life, through the abusing and through the violence, not only domestically but psychologically.
Definitely.
Which goes on everywhere. But,
that's a good point.
Yeah.
Mary, let me ask you the same question. How did this character affect you as an actress, but also as a female?
As a female is the thing that really comes to mind, because I've known so many women that really don't think they can do anything about it.
Yes.
And that's the thing that really comes through to me. There are things that I can do. Even if I'm not a wrestler like you are, there are things that I can do to help myself. And
Good for you.
That's good.
That's definitely right. Let me ask you another question, Mary. How do you think this female self-defense show can help other people, and what kind of advice would you give the viewers?
Well, there was one thing that we worked out when we were shooting on the purse snatch that I would like to say to women out there. Initially, we were going to shoot this with me wearing a skirt, and it was difficult for me to defend myself wearing a skirt. So one thing I've learned is if I'm walking out to the grocery store, wear slacks, ladies, because if you have to defend yourself, it will be a lot easier for you to do.
Great point. Really good point, Mary. Really good point.
That's good. Yeah.
Right. Tino, how about yourself? How do you think that this female self-defense show can help other people? And what kind of advice do you give the audience?
Well, it's hard for me to relate to the whole thing because, as I said, it's very different from my own perspective. But the advice I would give the ladies out there is to stop it before it's too late. When it can get too violent, and when it comes to a point when the woman can't stop it, and she just has to continue being abused and being, violated in this way. So I know it takes a lot of strength, a lot of inner strength, but that strength has to be conjured up.
Yes.
And brought out to the open and stop it before it can get too late.
So your advice to the audience would be to prevent it before...
To prevent it before it gets to the point where it can't be prevented.
That's very good
You
advice,
see?
definitely.
And bring that inner strength from inside,
Absolutely. One more question. Well, actually, two more questions. How did being in this female self-defense show affect you and in your future? How did it affect you and also your future?
I think it has affected my future, Mimi, in that in the future I will defend myself. There have been times in the past when I have not defended myself and have allowed things to happen.
Many women do.
It won't happen anymore.
Good for you. Many women do allow it to happen. For what reason? I really don't know. Possibly because they can't afford to live on their own and they have to, have the male support
to
them.
Rely on.
Or they're just dependent on lots of other obstacles such
Right.
as their love for the man. They can't leave them. They
Yes.
can't do anything to hurt them. But in fact, they're hurting themselves. That's what they're doing the whole time. Let me ask you that same question. How did being in this female self-defense show affect you for the future, Tino?
It made me aware that women have to be respected, be it in a marriage or a relationship,
Right.
and that they have their own needs and their own perspective on life. And if that differs from mine or any other guys, they have to work, they have to work with that instead of just resorting to violence or any other form of domestic violence.
I'd just like to tell everybody that Tino's really a nice guy. He's not a violent
Very
guy.
sensitive
Yes.
guy.
We trust this guy.
I'm a very sensitive kind of guy.
Right.
Very sensitive.
Right. Okay. What are your acting plans for the future, Mary?
I am studying at Conservatory Stella Adler right now, and I plan to continue that studying and just start doing as much work as I can so that I can learn and grow.
Right. Did this help you for your career in any way?
Oh, yes. In many ways, one of the most important is in the technical things that I've learned making this video. Important to me.
Yeah, right. And did it help your acting career?
I think it will.
Definitely. Yeah. Did it help your inner strength?
It helped me formulate some ideas about myself that I think I will carry forward.
That's terrific. Right. Tino, what are your acting plans for the future?
I'd like to do more feature films and TV, and also get back to my stage work, more
Right.
stage work.
Stage.
Yeah, definitely.
The base of all acting, I think.
Do you think that this female self-defense video helped you in any way in your acting career?
Yeah, I mean, I got a lot of exposure from it, hopefully, and it also helped me, as a male, realize all these...
And the different roles that you played.
The variety of roles was
Right.
tremendous, yeah. Very
Exactly.
exciting.
Yeah, it was very exciting. It was very helpful, I think, to the audience out there who are viewing this. Hopefully, many have learned,
Yeah.
in some sort.
Hopefully we'll bring, optimistic message, an enthusiastic message for the ladies to do,
Right.
take some action.
Definitely. Do you think you'll be doing any of these roles in the future? Would you like to do any of these roles?
Actually, I think playing a victim would be, doing that again, would maybe be a little more difficult for me now because I'm not one.
Right.
And there's just a lot of things I'd like to do in the future that I think this will help me do.
Definitely.
Stage work, feature films, all of it.
Definitely. How about you, Tino? Do you think that these roles that you have played, you think you'll probably play these roles sometime in a feature or
Probably,
whatever?
because I have this look which shows, some creativity inside. Yeah, I'd love to do some roles like that. Very challenging.
Yeah.
It's challenging, and it's something to get your teeth into.
Right. Something
which I like.
completely different from you.
Completely.
Right.
Completely.
Right. Thank you all for participating. I really appreciate you being on the show.
You're welcome. It was
It's been
fun.
a pleasure.
It was nice.
Thank you.
And I hope you've learned some useful tips on how to defend yourself. My sincerest wish is that you will never have to make use of what you've just learned here. But if you do, just be sure to stay calm, use your controlled anger to your best advantage. Stay in shape. Remain confident. Use your common sense. Life is a journey and love is a trip. The study of them will make you hip. Don't be afraid to smile. Don't give up that trust. Remember, there's hope. Till next time, Magnificent Mimi signing off. Ciao.